Good evening. Good evening, my dear friends. According to our long-time tradition, please confirm that you can hear me, you can see me well, because that's important. Hi, Mio to Zoe. So happy to see you, Something Blonde. So happy that you're back. And we are with a perfect team of Martin and Rudy, and Spencer can pop up and pop in. So please, do you hear me well? Because the speed is not very high of the chat. And now it started moving. Thank you so much. And perhaps one of the most important messages that I need to begin with, apart from that I love you all very, very much, is the fact that we have electricity outages. According to the schedule, they are not supposed to be during our live stream, but things may happen. For example, yesterday I had them twice, and you are supposed to have them once. I had 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening. So if our live stream freezes or is off, please remember this is due to electricity outages. This is our reality. We have to do that. And we have to be very energy efficient. So if something happens to a stream, remember that this electricity outage can be unpredictable. I hope you will understand me, and the moderators will update. I'm really happy to see so many of you. I'm really glad to see you, Spencer, here, and Martin and Rudy are with us, same as many other beautiful people. I've been reading your conversations on the chat, and Neil gives good advice on how to like and share the messages more. And so happy that Something Blonde is back, and Michael and Iman and Philip and Reinhard and Pat. And I have to say that I am very happy to spend this evening with you. And today, these are not just words, because, well, I'm always happy to be with you. But honestly, today I am more happy than always, because you give me this feeling of family and friends when going through some. Thank you so much for the sponsorship. When going through some tough times, it's always good to feel the support of your close ones. And honestly, I had a totally different plan for our stream today, but many of you have seen what Russia did to Kharkiv, targeting a hypermarket, a building hypermarket, something similar to Home Depot in the US, but I'm sure in every country you have something like home decor. Thank you, William. Thank you, Scott, for buying me coffees, and most importantly, for being here. And Russians have targeted at 4 p.m. this very big epicenter supermarket. Those who have been, greetings to Namibia, those who have been to Ukraine definitely saw them on the suburbs or elsewhere. We have epicenter in my city. We may have a number of them. Thank you so much, Duncan. And you know, it's just like pure terror. It does not need any other proof, because it happens at 4 p.m. on Saturday, when families are going to shopping, and especially in Kharkiv, when they need to repair their buildings sometimes because of these Russian shellings. And I am actually, greetings to Sweden and Australia. And they definitely knew there will be many people, many civilians, people with families, because this is just like a family. Some of you correct me more. That's okay. Like in Ukraine, we call them торговий центр. Торговый центр is literally translated to trade center. That's why I'm using this. I'm copying it from Ukrainian. But mall or whatever doesn't change. Thank you so much for the sponsorship and yeah, and all the support. And it was a planned terror action. And they knew there will be lots of people there. And it was the intention to make more people suffer. And during this week, Kharkiv suffers greatly. They have destroyed a publishing house. And for me personally, it was very emotional because, like, I love books. I am close to that industry. And to see this, like, millions of burnt pages, actually 5,000 books were destroyed. And I know these are just books, but it is very, very symbolic. And also, Ukraine is not rich at the moment. And you know, what I also notice is that many people, when they think how much they donate to Ukraine, maybe don't know that Ukraine spends a lot of money on its support. Thank you so much, Bruce, for the sponsorship. And like, we have a special military tax that is added to every person's salary. Not mentioning that Ukrainians donate, and like, I can say it's even a compulsive donating. It's not like you donate when you get your salary or when you get a bonus. Typically, it's extremely emotionally driven, and it's like your protection from the evil. And when you learn about something bad happening, you can emotionally spend like a lot of money on donations that you will, I don't know, um, even lack during the months later because you were too emotional and you've sent a lot, but you never feel sorry for that. And that's why I'm so grateful to NEFU initiatives that support Ukraine and many similar. But like, and Jake, oh my God, I know that the majority of you are also subscribed to Jake Bro's YouTube channel, and he's a great supporter. Sometimes I think he's the best in general, and he managed to get 1 million in support. And hello, sister, and hello, Francois. And you know, it's just like for you to understand. So it's not that Ukrainians are only asking money from others. They spend, like we spend, enormous amounts on many things, and literally, like, every family that will have a soldier will back him up or her up very seriously. And once again, it's not because the state does not give everything, but war is so dynamic. All of your supplies can get burned in an hour, and it's a great blessing that you, for example, don't get burned with them. And then you can wait for a week or for a month for new, I don't know, bulletproof vest, or maybe someone will give it to you sooner. Someone will buy it, and goes without saying that people will do it. So the destruction of this publishing house is not only like bad and symbolic. It's also very bad for Ukrainian economy, what they do. And actually, Kharkiv is a very, a very, very strong cultural and publishing center. Many of the books, Ukrainian books that I have in my library, thank you so much, Ed, that I have in my library were actually printed in Kharkiv. And now the majority of these printing houses, it's very difficult for them to operate, and they have to change the logistics, to change the connections. And oh my God, this is really bad for the industry too. And 7 people were killed in the printing house. And today, I don't want to count. I don't want even to count how many people have been in this hypermarket. It's very likely that more than 2,000. now they report that 2 are dead and like 33 injured. But, you know, I hate saying the numbers because typically they always grow. And that's very, 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 very painful. And I'm gonna be like harsh a little bit. And I know that once again, these words are not addressed to you because you're friends and family and you're great supporters, and many are around the world. But if we had an opportunity to destroy Russian aircraft and destroy their missile systems while they are still on the territory of the Russian Federation, we could have prevented this kind of tragedies. Honestly, if we had the permission to use long-range missiles on the Russian territory, then they wouldn't be able to target Kharkiv that often. Do you realize that? And we're not allowed. I don't know why. Because what? We might be too aggressive, and it's literally very difficult when you know it's possible to stop the evil and you actually have the means, but you're not allowed, and you follow these rules knowing that will result in new deaths of innocent people. Just like you can ruin it all, you can stop it all. And Russians, they are to some extent laughing in our face because they know they can be like 2 kilometers away from the border, targeting us with everything they want, and we are too obedient not to answer. And well, it's not politics, you know. After Putin started mocking every agreement, threatening, disrespecting, it's no more politics. Well, what is happening? For example, right to cultural heritage. Awful things are happening. And for example, this week they have targeted a lot of historical building in Kharkiv. And just like, I don't know, maybe someone can explain me why aren't we allowed to target the machines that are coming to kill us? It seems to me that for these decades, for these years of Russian war, everyone who wanted saw that we are not monsters, that we are not going to kill. Thank you so much, Martin. To kill Russian civilians. We will not bomb their children kindergartens. We don't need that. All we want is to save our people. And to save our people, we need to stop their war machine. To stop their war machine, we will target military objects. That is obvious. If we wanted to kill civilians, we would do that with drones, but we don't. All we want is to save more Ukrainian lives. And you know, what is really, really bad is also the fact that if it is an exhaustion war, even with a very, very bad skills in mathematics, I'm actually not good in mathematics. And if we have a 140 million country and a 38 million country, which country will end faster, especially if not provided with 100% more advanced technologies and permission? So thank you so much, West Coast. And you know, afraid of escalation. Guys, Putin and China now are constantly escalating. And our desire not to escalate or to negotiate or whatever, they treat as weakness. Please have a look at 2014 when we were advised not to escalate about the Crimea annexation. And what is the result? The result is that Putin understands it as a green light to continue. If Ukraine falls and he gets Ukraine, thank you so much, Links, he will continue. You know, someone has beautifully commented here that, thank you so much, Paul. Someone has beautifully commented here that, thank you so much, Alan, that Ukraine reminds Poland in 1939. This is exactly what I thought, and I loved repeating. And recently, I have watched a lecture of Professor Timothy Snyder. I know many of you follow him, know him. He is a great voice in support of Ukraine and a very good historian. And he kind of changed my Yoda. Yoda, yes. And he compared it, yes, exactly, Wendell, to 1938. 1938. In 1938, the world decided to accept Hitler's ambitions and decided to sacrifice Czechoslovakia, and many countries have chosen to appease Hitler, believing that by giving this sacrifice, they will safeguard their own countries. First of all, this is not good from, I wanted to say Christian perspective, but from any perspective, this is not good. Like when you know it's not right, but you sacrifice someone or something. And yeah, Jake Bro actually quoted Timothy Snyder. And Austria, yeah. And in that 1939, they turned a blind eye. But if they would have reacted, if they would have backed up these countries, demonstrating the strength, Hitler would not be able to advance, and maybe, like it's very likely, he would be defeated faster. Of course, there would be victims. Of course, there would be people killed. Of course, there would be people mobilized. But the number in general would not be that many. Thank you so much, Tim. And it's tragic that people believe that hiding is a good strategy. And you know what I don't like to speak about, because come on, I'm in Ukraine and I'm an active Ukrainian, you know. I can clearly see my future in case of occupation. Like if I don't escape, like it's not going to be long. But first of all, I don't think it will happen. But if Ukraine falls, what will happen? Similar to what happened in 1939, and similar to what they do on temporarily occupied territories. Yes, they mobilize men. Now you will tell me, why are they mobilized? Aren't they Ukrainians? And so on. Because we did not fight back the Russians in 2014 because we were advised not to escalate. And if I'm not mistaken, President Obama actually got the Nobel Prize for Peace. And people were afraid of escalation, just as now we are not allowed to target Russian military objects in the Russian Federation with long-range missiles. So if Ukraine falls, and what happens on temporarily occupied territories, guys? They mobilize men. They don't care about their training on anything, but thank you so much, John. And you may say, why are these people mobilized? Why aren't they fighting? Well, first of all, let's be realistic. In every country, in every city, on every of your street, There are strong people and weak people, brave people and people who are not so brave. Second, Russians do not mobilize as, for example, Ukraine does. They do not invite you, they do not test you, they make you. You know, they have filtration camps. You know, they torture people. You know, lots of people spend weeks and months in the underground going through really difficult things. Another moment that you may forget is that they have, thank you so much, Lee, for buying me coffee, and they have children. Many people agree to get Russian passports for their children not to be taken away and adopted somewhere in Russia or taken away on the Russian Federation territory. Families can do bad things when they are afraid to lose their children. So there are reasons that Russians will use, like torture, like stealing children, like manipulating life of the close ones, because once again, they don't follow democratic protocol. They only want us to follow, but they don't follow it. And millions will be mobilized, and millions will go further, will go to those countries that now we think Putin does not have enough strength to invade. I give you 1000% guarantee. In case of this doomsday scenario that Ukraine falls, war will come to a great part of Europe. I guarantee that. And those who believe in this isolationist, I don't know what's the correct word for that, but those who believe that they are really far away across the ocean, no, everything is very connected, and it will reach you either economically or via chaos, or Russia will try to cause lots of troubles inside the society, provoking conflicts and other stuff. The world, to a great extent, will belong to Russia, China, and others, because they understand. Thank you so much, Daniel. They understand that, like, we are fighting together. We are allies. And if Ukraine loses, our allies also lose. So that's why, yeah, team, I also believe and I know that we will win. But it's extremely, extremely, extremely expensive. And I so much do not want. Thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you. And I so much don't want to I so much don't want to be like pessimistic and to witness what they do to Kharkiv. Honestly, I know this city. I love this city. I have like they have this phrase complicated relationships with this city, but I have come to loving it, and it's honestly painful to see what happens. And Vovchansk, for example, they will not get the city. We have to understand that even like Bakhmut or Avdiivka, they say they got the city. They don't get the city. What they do, they kill like 50,000 their soldiers to get a small Ukrainian town that is already empty. And to get this town, they erase everything. So literally, they get nothing apart of big graveyards and ruins. So I don't want this to happen to Kharkiv, because oh my God, it's so beautiful. I think Ukrainians will not turn on the West because we are a part of your civilization. I don't know why it's so difficult to believe, and I often get beautiful comments like, oh my God, you're so normal. Oh my God, you're so European. And I know it's because many of you did not visit my country and did not have this opportunity. But We are. We are so normal. We are so European. And if you travel our cities before the war, if you eat in our restaurants, if you sleep in our hotels, if you visit our universities and even our hospitals, to some extent you may like them more than something in your country. We are not like wild people who are trying to rediscover themselves, have always been Russian or something like that. We just were hidden and sacrificed. I'm sorry, but sacrificed a number of times, like Czechoslovakia, like Austria, like Poland, like so many beautiful Eastern European countries. And greetings to the UK. And uh, what many people um, like forget. They say, okay, but now you're back, you've been behind that iron curtain. Yes, but do you understand? Thank you so much, Ken. But do you understand how many millions of beautiful Ukrainians? Thank you so much, Stephen. How many millions of beautiful Ukrainians or beautiful Czechs and beautiful Poles died forever during this period of Soviet occupation, and how many die right now? Just before our restaurants are really good for me. Kiev, honestly, guys, I love traveling and discovering new cities, but honestly, um, it's really good. And just before our stream, I was reading one poem on Facebook, and it was a poem by one girl that I know, Irina Vikirchak. And she wrote it like, I'm not a huge fan of poetry. Oh my God, I'm sorry. But honestly, I'm more of a prose person. But I would love to come to Wales, honestly. Oh, let me show you something for a change of topic for a while. Yes. So it's extremely like this poem. It made me feel very emotional, and it is like a conversation with God. And she's in a very straightforward, ordinary manner that makes it more like emotional. Talks to God, and she says like, okay, God, I promise that we will win this war. And like, I know that war is not your business, but we will win. But you have to promise that you will return. And then she enumerates a number of really great people that were lost during this war. And she asks to return the animals that were killed or burned when Russians turned one natural reserve into a polygon where they train, that you will resurrect, like return back to life, people who drowned in their houses when Kakhovka Dam exploded. Just promise, like we promise that we will win, and you promise that you will return them. And this underlines the impossibility of everything to get back. And I know, like, that I'm an optimist. And I will. But I have seen so many optimists die during this war already. And I know there will be a happy day of victory, but you have to feel and understand that many, too many people will not see it. They will not reach this distance. And of course, some losses are, I don't want to say this word, but they are logical. But some are very unnecessary. Same as the ban to target Russia, Russian military objects, even Russia, honestly, guys, honestly. And I have read one article that I did not kind of like, and perhaps it's a kind of Russia influenced article, but one of the German politicians was saying that, you see, we supply Ukraine with weapons, it doesn't work, so we should stick to negotiations, because if medicine does not work, then no need to continue giving this medicine to a patient. Oh my God. Are you sure you're giving enough medicine? And are you sure that you are giving the medicine that a person needs? Because once again, if someone badly needs something strong and you're giving, I don't know, what do you drink? Something minor like ibuprofen to save a person from a heart attack or something, it won't work. It won't work. Or we are mobilizing people, and I'm sure more will come. But once again, I have to remind you, Russia has 140 million people. Ukraine has 38, and like 10 of them are outside Ukraine at the moment. So what do we get? 28. How many of them are women, children, elderly? So in the result, we don't have that many men or even women. And if it is an exhaustion war, it's a problem. Because by numbers, we will never win. And actually, it's not a strategy for the 21st century war when you have to win just outnumbering. In this, I was saying meat waves, but Jake Bro has a better term for that, meat attacks or something like. So, yeah, homeopathy or something like that. There are some serious things that this situation needs. And once again, if we had everything we need back in 2022, this war could have been over. But we receive everything like really slowly. And honestly, I do believe that we will get permission to target Russia. I hope, I pray, and I believe it's logical. It may happen. And we will get that permission after Vovchansk will be destroyed, after so many people. Thank you so much, Peter. I appreciate that a lot. After so many people will die. So like they know they will let us, and they simply wait. And I understand that when you're observing it from really far away, it seems like far away, but these are real lives. And yeah, I hope this will come this week, and this will be very good, and you will see me excited and speaking about that. But today I will tell you that these people in a hypermarket died because we did not have an opportunity to stop it. Or when we started lacking patriots, and people that don't want to escalate, keep them in their own countries, believing that the war will come to you. So you still believe it will come then. It's so contradictory, everything. And war is awful. And it's everywhere. And we do have too many funerals. Like I, unfortunately, live in the center, really close to the central cathedral. And I've always liked that. But every day I will witness really big, like these funerals, they are loud. And then that's okay. And it has to be like that. But you will hear lots of cars beeping, producing sounds. You will see lots of people. Then an orchestra will play a hymn, and then you will hear a bell tolling. And you may see this flower petals and so on. And literally, it's like it typically starts at 11 a.m. in the morning and it ends at 12 when they head to the graveyard. And like it's so difficult to, I know it sounds like too ordinary, but it is our ordinary life, even when you're far away from the front lines. How do you continue working? Or, for example, eating your borscht. When you're at home, like you're eating your borscht, but your home is really close to the central cathedral, and it happens every day. And like, and it's very difficult. It's I'm not like, I don't know what about you. I am not. I'm a person that avoids funerals. Thank you, Pat. And I let myself avoid whenever it's possible, especially after like I've lost my parents. I don't have a father. I don't have a mother anymore. I had to go through their funerals, and I have allowed myself like there are other ways to support people, and sometimes you learn about someone who I honestly believe it's better. It's an option to support people afterwards. Thank you so much, Brian. And then I'd say that, for example, there are cases when you learn about, I should say like Facebook or like Instagram, sensitive content. Some people can be disappointed. Like I was afraid of going to one funeral because I felt like I might need, but there is no funeral. Because literally there is no body. And things like that happen, especially if explosions are really bad. And this is what comes to many Ukrainian families while they are waiting. And many things happening. And of course, are people angry? Yes, sometimes they are very angry. Are people disappointed? Yes, very disappointed. But we don't have a choice. And please, guys, don't let us fall so that you will not have this choice. Because such evil, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It's just like, yeah, thank you so much. Perhaps like, I'm sorry for this a little bit too sad content. I have warned you that like, you're my family now, you're my friends. And today is this just like sad day. Instagram, Facebook will blur these photos of Kharkiv hypermarket for you. And that's okay. It will protect you. But it does not protect me. And I see that. And it's so awful. Like, I see these people every day on the streets. I sometimes get emotional when I see people on this ordinary chores, like walking the supermarkets and other things. And I look at them and I realize they are targets because they are Ukrainians. This is unbelievable. And this is something that is so difficult to accept. But once again, I've told you that someone was advising me to watch the movies to discover the darkness of the Russian soul. Oh my God, I don't need any movies. Any movies cannot express what we experience on a daily basis. What I see on this parking lot of the Kharkiv hypermarket, when people who came to look, they knew their relatives there, they have to open this faces of the bodies looking if these are their relatives. And this just like on ordinary Saturday. and none of these people were spies or generals or deputies or anything. They are of no value from this perspective. But they are killed because they are Ukrainians. And once again, this returns me back to the times when I watched the movies about the Second World War, about Holocaust, for example. And it was so difficult for me to comprehend, how is it possible? Well, how is it possible? And then it's possible. And once again, as one of our good Ukrainian writers said, that like he was saying that, okay, I'm working here. Thank you so much, Gary, for your support, for buying me coffee. And this writer, he said, okay, I'm just like handsome and I'm clever and I am translated and I'm writing really well. But for Russians, I'm just a moving target, a sack with bones. And the better you are, the sooner they will kill you, because their task is to destroy us as a nation, as a culture. That's what they do. They don't invade to get you economically, trade or something like that. This good old style wars. Look at the territories that they taken over. They simply erased them. There is nothing there. All they want is Ukraine to be like Mariupol, like Bakhmut, like Avdiivka. They need all of this Ukraine covered with blood, dead bodies, so that they can come and stay here. And that's sad. But I see that the chat is happier than me too. So let's switch to something more positive. By the way, maybe you have some questions about Kharkiv in general. They don't have to be said. And once again, I would like to thank Martin, Rudy, Spencer, and of course Michael, Nail, Something Blonde, and many more beautiful people who comment, who inspire, who back up, who buy coffees, become patrons and sponsors of the channel. And yes, I'm writing the book. And thank you, sister, so much for being in my life. And yeah, we do support, we do feel your support. And once again, I've told you that I do not address this like emotions to you, because like you're a family. I understand that you know and you share my thoughts, and I'm saying, and it's more about this, like, I think if people were to decide, people would be more decisive. I mean, like ordinary people in any country, they would say, let's do it, let's not do it, let's support it, let's not support it. And then that's it is. So that's why are the delays of patriots to Kharkiv? Well, not many people willing to give them. If I had kids, you would have known. I don't. And believe me, many people in Ukraine don't feel very enthusiastic about that right now. You discover the democracy. I hope we all won't discover the authoritarian era on this planet, because once again, who said that this world is going to be a democratic planet? Unfortunately, many of us believed it is the plan, that all countries want to become democratic, that they want to reach this and use it, but no. My favorite Ukrainian football team is Dynamo Kyiv. Well, I don't know how many libraries are in Kharkiv, but in Kharkiv there are close to 90 different universities, academies, institutions, and many, many museums. It's like, if I'm not mistaken, it's second largest city in Ukraine. So it's really big, and Thank you so much, Paul. This is a huge support to the channel, and I'm really grateful that you support. And thank you so much, Daniel, for becoming a patron. And attention, guys, something that Martin often reminds me to do. And it's extremely important to remember that there are scammers. Thank you, someone. There are scammers who pretend to be me, and typically they will always have a different name, so you can check it, and if it's Miss or something, and they invite you to WhatsApp or Telegram. I never do that. Moreover, someone sent me that they say you have won a computer and sneakers, and no. Don't you, like, I'm sure you recognize my style, you know me, so of course I'm not a lottery giver. And whenever you have these scammers who invite you, please report them. Please report them. We and a perfect team of moderators, we always do that. We block them as soon as possible. YouTube blocks them too. Unfortunately, YouTube also blocks all of us and many comments, and we can go through that. I'm very grateful that you are you understand that, because it's just like these waves of epidemic when comments are disappearing and they have lots of problems. But I do not invite you to Instagram, to Telegram and WhatsApp to chat. I have started thinking actually that maybe I need a channel on Telegram to invite you, just as I am now on Twitter, because previously there was scammers, sorry, scammers on the Twitter, and they have actually achieved like 2,000 subscribers. And at first I thought it was more of a fan page or something, because they simply shared my videos on Twitter and they did not say anything bad. But then they started trying to collect money or anything. So please, please, please remember that I never invite you to Telegram and WhatsApp to chat. Thank you so much, Richard, and welcome to Patreon. And it's really, really important to remember. I literally do not have enough time. I communicate with you in our comments. I love that. I learn a lot from your comments. They inspire some of my research and videos, and I'm always grateful for every comment that you leave. And you see, Martin is beautifully reminding that there are links to my social media. If you want to check, whenever I get a new page or something, it happens very rarely. But for example, if I decide to come to Telegram, all the official links are always in the description of the video or on the channel. This is what they cannot steal, they cannot redo. Thank you so much, Suzanne. It's so nice of you. And greetings to Czechia. And like institutions, educational institutions, not universities, many universities, but I mean like academies, institutes, and all of that. But in general, Kharkiv is a student city, and it was super popular among international students actually. So whenever you get this fake message that addresses you, please report. Please report and help us, because unfortunately there are still people there are still people who may return. And thank you for complimenting my English, that it has improved. Definitely. That like I speak a lot in English and I think a lot in English, and the book that I'm writing in English, not in Ukrainian. I have decided it will be more natural, but still Ukrainian is my native language, so I always like to someone wanted to help me with the scripts. I don't have scripts. I wouldn't have time for vlogging if I had to write scripts with a number of other jobs that I'm doing. And that's why I speak for myself, like, and it's my live speech, not prepared. I may have something like a plan that if there are some facts that I don't want to forget, but in general, it's me speaking. So sometimes I may get too fast or too emotional, and this is how it works. And let's listen to Neil. We can actually get. Thank you so much, Run Forest and Richard, for joining the Patron, and thank you for the coffee. It's a time to sip some of my mint tea. Thank you so much, Iman. That's exactly what, like, from my heart or from my emotions, but I'm always very like natural. I'm not planned in my speech. Like well, I've always liked speaking and writing, and I do think there are things you may learn. But at the same time, thank you so much, Daniel. But at the same time, like, it's an unprepared speech of a non-native speaker. So of course, I may lose some articles because in my language there are no articles. And oh my God, if I would ask you to make them, it's just like when I hear some, for example, Americans speaking Ukrainian, the majority of them will have problems with cases. Like it's difficult when you have 7 cases in a language, but as long as this does not prevent me from understanding a person, I typically don't worry about that. But I love it when you teach me, when you give me advice. I feel totally good about that. And I actually, if I do not change that quickly, um, then it's just because I did not manage to remember yet. You need some time. I know that was an issue with Kremlin, that Kremlin. If you'd given me a test, I would definitely write that Kremlin. I know even metaphor, metonymy, oxymoron, another thing, but uh, when you're in a hurry to tell the story, the history of your country that is so dynamic, you may lose something. So anyway, thank you so much for all the kind words that you're saying my way. And I'm so glad that we have this community. Guys, this is one of the things that in these darkest times definitely helps me. I think it's actually amazing thing when you, like, there are really good teachers among our community, and I even know there are some people who worked with Ukrainian natives who want to learn English, and that you typically know what kind of mistakes we make. Like, because, for example, mistakes of a Ukrainian, mistakes of a French person, and mistakes of, let's say, an Argentinian person will be different based on the languages that we actively use. Thank you so much for complimenting me. Oh, greetings to your wife from Lutsk. This is really cute. Lutsk is a good city. And so, of course, like you've seen that in our stream today, we mentioned like negotiations, but it goes without saying that no negotiations are possible. And like, once again, it's a famous quote. I don't remember to whom it belongs, but it's that, like, you cannot negotiate with people who came to kill you. Because, you know, at the very beginning of the invasion, there were people who were saying, like, okay, we should negotiate and find and agree in the middle. And it was a meme all over Ukraine, like, Russia, we have come to kill all of the Ukrainians. And then Ukrainian side is supposed to say, according to this uh, appeasement diplomacy, no, let's agree on something in the middle. And then Russia says, okay, then we will kill half of Ukraine. And we say, yes, this is how negotiations with Russia look. And I don't think anyone would agree on things like that. Just like I did some comment I did not clearly understand, but in general. Okay. And the front lines, right, they're trying to distract Ukrainian troops from other places and to make Ukrainian front line longer. You can see it with the attacks on Kharkiv. Literally, Russians do not have enough resources to invade Kharkiv, but they have enough resources to destroy it. I mean, with missiles, with bombs, that's what they do. Like, for example, in today's hypermarket attack, and this is very painful because they have this, like, I don't know, it's a proverb present in many Slavic languages, like, if I cannot eat it, thank you so much, someone, I will at least like bite it or something like that. So that, for example, when you bite an apple, no one else will eat it. And that's what they do. If they cannot take, they destroy. If they cannot take, for example, Kyiv, they cannot take Kharkiv, they try to ruin as many things as possible. Thank you so much, Philip. Never forgive, never forget. That is true. And okay. Thank you so much, Yoda, for becoming a sponsor and for saying that my accent is charming. I will do an audiobook. Hopefully, I will finish this book. And actually, when I have started writing, I wanted like this book is going to be. Thank you so much, Domino, Daddy. I intended it to be more like about Ukraine in general, to give you like a friendly conversation about my beautiful country. And I thought that I will dedicate like 10-15% to war. But it's actually impossible. And when you start speaking about, and then every detail, every city, every story, every history is so connected to war. And it's kind of like I do think that like I'm normal, it did not interfere me much, but then it does. So what they are trying to do now, I've been reading a lot of Ukrainian analytics, and of course all of our YouTubers and the majority of them agree that Russia either tries to create this buffering zone or to distort the attention of Ukrainian army on some other important parts. But thank you so much, Tony. But they don't have enough resources to take the city, and the city is huge. And like, I hope the world will not let it happen. But unfortunately, now it is happening. It is in the process of happening. These destructions of the historical buildings, of the hypermarkets, of the printing houses. Guys, this all happened just during 1 week. And by the way, after this, our stream, there will be a vlog about Kharkiv because I could not keep double negation is impossible. I had to speak about that. And anyway, but I'm sure like Ukrainians are observing. We know what they intend to, and I like under Spack-Nielsen analysis, and he said like, okay, we see this is Russia's plan, and it looks like that, and it looks like this. But then he says like a beautiful summary phrase that, and who told you that Russia's plan is good? Maybe we, for a long period of time, could not figure it out. What are they going to do? Because the things they are doing are actually stupid. So this might be actually the reason. Yeah, thank you, Susan, for this advice. And Nail also says, so smash the like button and help us get more likes, because once again, every share that you make, every comment, every like, and of course, every subscription matters, because it helps us debunk more of Russian propaganda. It helps us persuade those who doubt that no, we have to remain united, we have to win this war. And I'm really grateful that we are here together, and I definitely feel all of this support. Yeah, sure, no negotiations and so on. Thank you so much, Tony, for buying me coffees. And yeah, has everybody who is watching hit the like button, guys? Please let me know. Once again, if you want to follow more like everyday life, I try to share some reels with air raid alerts, like this daily routine in Ukraine. So I'm on Instagram, and as Martin told, the links are in the description of every video, and actually they are on the channel. And also I am on X and Threads. And what I have noticed, guys, is that I am typically coming to X and Threads when I have some emotions and I need to express them in text. And even though you don't have much space there, it's just enough to compose something that is very, very important. So yeah, you may join me on any of this social media, and of course a Discord community. That is really cool. Yeah, and thank you for all the sharing and support that you are doing, and the compliments that you are saying. Yeah, and by the way, it may be that sometimes I have to re-record the video because, this very well. In Ukraine, we have just one V sound, and it's a little bit different than yours. And we don't have the W difference. And I may be like recording everything is nice, and then I'm saying like Ukrainian victory. And then, whoa, I have to re-record. But it's just because of that. Yeah, thank you so much that you understand that we cannot negotiate with Russia. We can only negotiate, like, should they hang Putin or shoot Putin? Well, these things we can negotiate, nothing else. And I'm really grateful that you believe in Ukraine, and that we feel your support, and all that you do when you talk to your politicians and even your neighbors that are neutral. You cannot be neutral. It's like being neutral to, I don't know, a super serial killer who has killed half of the people on your street, and you say, I'm neutral. We don't know. Maybe he had a bad childhood. Like many people had bad childhood, but not all of them turned into maniacs. Oh, I would love to see Putin in The Hague. Actually, I have read that. Thank you so much, Daniel. I have read that they plan the next NATO summit in The Hague next year. It would be so good if we could combine this NATO summit in The Hague with Putin trial in The Hague. I think will be really, really symbolic. And Yoda is reminding me that we have a really good merch shop, and I'm so glad you like t-shirts and the quality. And there are lots of other products that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And they also tell lots of stories and we have a beautiful designer, and he actually works carefully on the description of every item, and every t-shirt, like every design, tells the story, either about some Ukrainian cultural heritage or about anything from our modern history or even our drones. So do check. Once again, the link is also in the um, description. Yeah, negotiations are definitely like a trick. What Russia wants is the collapse of the West, of the rotting West. And they have started with Ukraine, but the plans are really big, believe me. And together with China and other authoritarian regimes. And also, what we have to remember is that they are trying to regroup because they do have some problems. And for example, our strategy to destroy their oil refineries caused serious trouble with petrol for Russian military and with their budget and so on. And they need some time, yeah, to regroup, to mobilize. And they may pretend that they want these negotiations, but this is deadly because it will help Russia grow more strength and attack again, just as it was in 2014. Let's not repeat these mistakes. Maybe a couple of questions more, and I will let you enjoy this beautiful Saturday evening. Yeah, Putin must be held account for his crimes, and this is important not just for Ukraine and innocent victims, but for the future of the mankind, because unpunished evil grows and it inspires other evil maniacs to repeat Putin's story like Hitler. We believed nothing similar may happen, but look at that. Yeah, thank you so much. Glory to heroes. And remember to like and share, and so much. Thank you so much, Neil, Michael, for that. Yeah, you are right. I have spoken about the targeting of the Ukrainian printing house on the day when it happened, and today there will be a separate video on the explosions and destructions on the hypermarket in Kharkiv and in general. So you may see it on the page because I log daily and it appears daily. Thank you so much, David. But of course, the more of us will speak about these war crimes, the more important it is. So watch it today and a day ago. Yeah, it's important to hit oil production in Russia, and we do that all the time. Yes, Russian S-400 destroyed, and today Ukrainians actually downed another Russian Su-25, but once again, another brutal terror act against civilians in Kharkiv distracted my attention from more good updates like the destruction of a Russian bomber. And Su-27. Okay, sorry. Sorry so much. Maybe one more question that I will answer, and I invite you to watch a vlog that will appear on the channel approximately in an hour. Yeah, it's extremely important to document war crimes, and it's extremely important for various international organizations not to be afraid of naming the words as it is, or as an English idiom says, to call a spade, because being afraid of escalation, they substitute many words. And what happened to anti-Putin fighters? Let it be like the last question answered. Well, honestly, I didn't see any real Putin fighters. Navalny is dead. The majority of them are dead, but even those who were considered by Putin an opposition was not a real opposition. And it was more of a political fight, not a fight against all this crazy, evil, sick ideology. Many, even those who did not support Putin or who wanted to become the president of Russia, were actually same imperialists, but less crazy. And I do understand that in future we will need someone to work on these swamps. Well, who? Let it be one of the topics of the next conversations. Yes, Svoboda Rusi might be, or Freedom of Russia Legion and other partisan movements that are working now deep inside the Russian rear might be a solution. Thank you so much for all the kind words and support. Thank you for letting me speak more about this extremely important period in the life of the country. It's really difficult to observe what Russia does now to Kharkiv. And we cannot observe this happening online, understanding that just one permission to prevent these hits can save lives, can save like 50,000 books. It's very symbolic. And so many people. And of course, Russia does that on purpose. Of course, they know that at 4 p.m. in the hypermarket, there are lots of families. Please persuade those who doubt, and remember to join me on all the other social media that are officially mentioned on the channel. Thank you so much, Yeni. Please be careful of scammers. I never invite you to chat in WhatsApp or Telegram, but I always read your comments and I get inspiration, support, and lots of actually ideas from that. Once again, I want to thank Martin and Rudy for helping and for protecting us from trolls, and Spencer, who was with us for a brief period of time, and Michael and Neil and Something Blonde and Pat and Philip and Iman and Steven and so many beautiful people, and Erin and Eric. And thank you so much. Love you very much. Remember to watch a video. And Francois, of course, please remember to watch the video today, the vlog that is coming soon. And thank you so much. Slava Ukraini!